My next guest will be the Managing Director, Robert Reese. Am I correct? Fantastic. Fantastic. And we're going to be talking about the CAO role, which is something that Chief Administrative Officers don't always get talked about at real estate investment trusts. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Very good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the CAO role.
In my case, the CAO role included strategy, business process improvement, HR, IT, and research. So we took a bundle of shared services and put them under one group.
And what's the benefit for creating a role like that?
Several benefits. One is efficiency. So we had those roles sprinkled out throughout the organization, one in leasing, one in development, one in marketing. And by bringing them together, we get much more efficient use of people's time.
Sure.
And we have the resources available actually to do more things. Secondly is just quality. By having a group of researchers, we're able to develop tools, processes, we're able to hire higher level people, we're able to develop people and grow their talent over time, so you get a real efficiency. And third, and I think the reason we actually created the role at Taubman 8 years ago, is it gives us a platform for implementing strategy. So once the strategy is set, we want to put smart buildings in place. It's critical for us. It gives us a platform to say, okay, what's the process of implementing, what's the process of running a smart building, what's the IT that we need, what kind of people do we need, all within a more controlled set of individuals.
Do you find companies starting to curry toward creating this role?
You know, it was a very rare role 4 or 5 years ago. I'm seeing a handful of CAOs. Sometimes it's called Chief Operations Officer, not Chief Operating Officer.
Right.
Which is pretty much the same thing. I don't see a rush to it at this point. And so I'll be curious over the next few years as some changes happen in the industry if we're going to see more and more of the role.
Do you think that by having that role available, it creates a strategic advantage for a corporation?
I think it does. I think what traditionally real estate companies have been very vertically integrated, very functional, and they don't do a lot cross-functionally. And so it's very hard to push strategy, and it's very hard to push cross-functional projects.
Sure.
And as things have gotten more competitive and performance has become more of an issue, you need to do cross-functional projects. They need to run efficiently.
Everyone at this conference is talking about big data. And the analysis of that data becomes absolutely prime. So you would think that, in fact, this position would be a natural.
Yeah, I think so. And we're about to be overwhelmed with a new source of big data. With the smart building technologies and the Wi-Fi tracking of shoppers, you can imagine the data created by a shopper parking their car being tracked every 30 seconds around a mall. Maybe a billion shoppers a year on a 2-hour trip each creates a lot of data. And how that data gets analyzed and what questions we want to answer from that data become interesting questions.
One of the things that comes up when we talk about this stuff is the issue of privacy. Given your background and the analysis that you've done, how should we be scared? How should we feel about this?
Yeah. Well, there's 2 ways to do it. There's opt-in and not opt-in. So you can take someone's iPhone, track the MAC address without their permission as they walk around a building. Or you can have them opt in to something. I'm not a believer, I believe in opt-in. I believe in it. I have a 14-year-old daughter. The last thing I don't want someone tracking her, I don't know who they are, tracking her around the mall. That just doesn't make me feel good as a parent. But more important than that, your relationship with your customer, I think, is a sacred one, and you want to have them opt in. Plus, it gives the shoppers much more benefit. If we know who you are, we should be able to give them enough benefits that they'll want to tell us who they are.
Sure.
We give them free Wi-Fi, that's one benefit. We can give them coupons. We can give them directions. We can give them connections to their friends in the mall. We can help them get product reviews, and all kinds of things.
Right.
So we're hoping with free Wi-Fi, it won't be that hard to get opt-in.
Right.
And opt-in will include our ability to locate you through the mall.
Very cool. Now, the new technology that we're seeing at the show, I think we see it as an opportunity, but then others see it as a threat, as we're talking about. What can you speak to that?
Sure. I think it's both, right? And there's many more opportunities than there are threats. But the threat is the biggest threat the industry's faced since it was invented 65 years ago.
Which is?
Disintermediation at this point of sale, meaning the industry is built on 15 to 7, Class A retail is built on 15 to 17% of sales is what you get is what you get from the tenant. And after you pay CAM, taxes, utilities, you get about 9% rent.
Okay.
All based on the sales number. If people go into the store and then buy it online, under today's system, the sale is zero. So, so even today, for example, if you go to an Apple store and buy a business computer, the mall does not get credit for that.
Huh.
Even though you're using all the infrastructure of the mall to park your car and to have the inside environment. And you can see that snowballing as people get more and more mobile apps, and as the stores go to their new POS systems, which allow you to go directly to people's website.
Interesting. I mean, the money is still being made, the profit is still being taken, but it's just who is the profit being attributed to becomes the interesting.
And even if you figured out a way to say, well, if you went to the store, then that's our credit. The person might have shopped 3 places to make that purchase, so it really wasn't just the store.
Right.
And so they really might not get the full credit. So it's a big threat. On the other hand, there's tremendous opportunities.
Right. Is there anything that you can see as a solution for that problem?
Well, it's going to be a complex one because first of all, we have to understand how retailers are changing their strategies. Right. Well, we know for sure what they're planning on doing and starting to implement is they're going to omni-channel strategies. So you can touch them anywhere and buy your merchandise. They're also going to customer-facing point-of-sale systems. So we can help them with those. So it's not just a swipe at a handheld swipe. You're actually going to look at it. They're going to say, oh, look at this sweater and push this button and you can buy it. That's going to require high-speed broadband, which we're going to now offer. So that's something. So we're now starting to get closer to the retailer. We will have to change our relationships with retailers with what the lease says and how that works. It may be that they're paying for showrooming space. It may be that they're paying for traffic. If they're finding value in the space, we will ultimately come up with a way to charge for it. And then we have to stay relevant so that people do come to the mall. And that's part of one of the opportunities in smart buildings for us is high-speed, consistent Wi-Fi, and then developing mobile apps that make shopping a more enjoyable experience, right? How do you get somewhere quicker? How do you get a coupon? If I walk across the mall, are they going to have the sweater I want?
Right.
If I go up to the food court, can I get a free Coke? Or there's lots of things.
And can I get directions back to my car, which I forgot where I parked?
Right. You'll be able to geocode your car location when you get out. You'll push a button. You'll go in. You'll come out. You'll have the parking lot map, and you'll be able to find your car. It'll be pretty cool, and you'll know if your friends are in the mall. There'll be better visualization. Ultimately, you'll be able to see things. Instead of just blank glass as you walk around.
Very cool. Robert, I'm really impressed. I mean, this is some pretty, you've thought through several levels, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes out of Reese Advisors. If someone wants to keep up with your thought leadership on these issues, what's the best way?
They should probably try to find me here at the conference.
Okay.
I'm in a transition right now, so I don't know where I'm going to be even a month from now.
Sure.
But
do you have an online presence or Twitter?
Yeah, reeseadvisors.com.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much for sharing your ideas with us.
Thanks.
It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Robert Reese, Managing Director at Reese Advisors.